We were compromised by a goat herder, a kid, who was wandering around the area, and there were many of them around the area with their herds.
This is Bravo 20.
Legs got on the satellite communication system and tried.
Bravo 20, radio check, over.
It was really extraordinary that we could not communicate by that means either. The message went out, a compromised request, immediate extraction. And we were not aware of that message being received either.
We first heard that Bravo 20 was in trouble when we got a garbled radio message. We really didn't know what had gone wrong. We had to interpret it.
However, we understand that SAS intelligence officers at UK headquarters near High Wycombe did hear Bravo 20 calling for help on the satellite link several times. They also overheard a conversation between Brigadier Massey and the SAS colonel who was the patrol's commanding officer in the Gulf. They were discussing possible air support for a rescue. Massey, we understand, described such military backup as a bit premature, to the astonishment of some of those at High Wycombe who had no doubt the patrol was in serious trouble. What they may not have known was that mounting a rescue was potentially embarrassing.
We had to look after ourselves. General Delabilia stressed this, and General Schwarzkopf stressed that again, but he winked as he said it, and I knew he'd give us help if he needed it.
The SAS hierarchy was confident that Bravo 20 could look after itself, and if they ran into trouble, there were clearly agreed procedures to get them out. They'd be rescued. This hallowed contract was the lifeline between the men exposed in the field and their officers back at base.
As we were moving off, we started hearing vehicle sounds, these horrible groaning sort of sounds to my left as I was heading off south, following the others. They got louder and louder. Bad situation. We assumed that probably was the enemy, and it was. I reckon the whole contact lasted for something like 20 minutes. I remember looking at these guns and tracers sort of being fired, starting off very slowly, then appearing to accelerate towards us. And of course you'd think, right, should I step that way or that way, and where's the thing going to land? Always fully exposed, thinking, gee, it's only a matter of time before one of us goes down and is going to be hit. I think it was a miracle that anyone got out of that intense incoming fire, anyone at all.
Besides radio and satellite communications, the patrol had a handset known as a TACBE, a tactical beacon. It could send a distress signal to passing aircraft.
I was aware of Andy McNabb actually on the TACBE calling the turbo call sign. That was British Special Forces to anyone who's receiving that call sign, all Allied aircraft. Or so we hoped. He didn't get any response.
However, we can reveal that some messages were received back at base, and we know what they said because we've seen a copy of an SAS daily record, or log, written up in the Gulf. And we can further reveal from the log that the first message was received on Thursday, the 24th of January, the second full day of the mission, and it was quite clear. B Squadron Northern MSR Group, that's Bravo 20, reported that they had been compromised and requested exfiltration as soon as possible. There was no ambiguity about the message. The patrol was in deep trouble. Nevertheless, no rescue was launched. Although the patrol had received no confirmation of their messages, they hoped that one or two might have got through. Having survived the firefight and evaded the enemy, they headed for a previously agreed rendezvous point, expecting a rescue helicopter.
We waited something like, I think, half an hour there, so well past the time. There's no sign of this helicopter, and then we had to move.
What goes through your mind? What do you say? What do you think when the expected helicopter does not arrive?
Well, there's considerable hope amongst all of us, really, that an expectation, rather, that this machine should arrive, because that is our safety net. And really, this whole operation, this dangerous operation so far behind enemy lines without any immediate support, is based, and our plans are based on this kind of safety net actually being put into operation. It's as good as a guarantee as you can get.
But the night was silent. The helicopter never came. The patrol now decided to head for Syria, 100 miles northwest, but they ran into another enemy, the weather. With conditions worsening, they tried to make contact again.
Stop and try the tank, mate. Hello, any call sign? This is Bravo 20. We're at ground call sign, and we're in the shit. Over. No time!
Their voices and message seemed lost on the wind. McNabb suddenly realized that in the appalling conditions, the patrol had split.
I told him to stop!
Bearing in mind, it was a very, very dark night. It was black as ink. There was very little ambient light. Sometime during the night, when everyone was tired, really, the separation occurred. It's not easy to have to admit that publicly, but, you know, it's a fact that mistakes occur. That was a mistake, in that we didn't intend to split. There's a group of 3, of which I was part up front, and then there's a group of 5.
Once more, the log we've seen indicates that a second message was received. It said, Bravo 20 made TACB contact again. It was reasonable to assume that they were moving south. A Chinook 47 rescue crew were on standby. But the Chinook didn't fly.
Why didn't that helicopter come in when it should have? Not only in terms of their standard procedures, because we had no effective communications, but secondly, because they did actually receive some slightly corrupt versions of messages, even more so, to the effect that imminent compromise, request extraction, and then compromised, request immediate extraction.
Why not send in the helicopter?
So you're risking the lives of all these men and a helicopter.
But you've got the lives of 8 men at stake at the other end.
This is the price you pay sometimes.
Now, if that kind of information has been coming in, we're in serious trouble, we need rescuing, that was the gist of the message, and there's no doubt they would have understood that.
That's why they feel betrayed.
And they